Hey, good morning, YouTube. How you doing? Uh, Let me start off like this. You were fired. Now, this dude, Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump, made a show around that statement. You were fired. They don't say it as much as they used to, but when this show first started, I do remember that. Not that I was a fan of this show, but "You were fired" was the catchphrase. So this is something he enjoyed doing, and uh, America bought into it. So now he's taken reality television into the White House. Now, most people, I would say most sane people, most rational people, would say if this dude Comey is the FBI director, he is investigating me, it would look too horrible. I don't know about the legalities of it, but it would look so bad that I had actually stepped in and fired this man who refused to kiss my ring. Comey refused to kiss the ring. What Trump was basically asking him was, are you going to be loyal to me? In other words, when the bullshit goes down, are you going to cover for me? Are you Team Trump? And this man says, no, I'm neutral. I mean, I've got one of the highest offices in law enforcement, and I have to be neutral. That's my job. You know, they're kind of policing everyone else's morality. And how does Donald Trump respond? He fires the man. Awful. I don't know anything about Comey. I'm sure he has a family, though. He's put 20-something years into that office, into that bureau. 20, 25 years, something like that. And this man just walks in and fires him for no decent reason. Then his ego is so fragile, and I don't know if you call it big, was big and fragile at the same time. Because when they tried to run this story, oh, we did this because he was so wrong to Hillary. Oh, how could he do such a horrible thing? That was one of the main things that he enjoyed about him, was that he was after Hillary. When he turned on him during the campaign, he turned on him because of him being nice to Hillary. So then when he turns on Hillary, all of a sudden now that's the reason he's being fired. Well, we all know that was bullshit, right? But his ego is such that he couldn't even give the credit to someone else for recommending that he gets fired. In other words, they wrote a letter from this other guy in the FBI. I mean, from Comey's boss, the one right above him, right under the Secretary of State. And I mean, listen, don't hold me to all that. Whatever, his boss, when he wrote that recommendation, they was going to blame it on that, right? That's why he fired him. Trump couldn't even sit there with Lester and give somebody else the credit for firing him. He wants to fire him. I used to meet these kind of characters in the streets. There's some people would come up because industry, I'm not promoting it, drugs or anything like that. But some people will come up just by being decent to people, treating people good, just like any other business. You treat people good, they come back and they buy your product, right? There were some people who, as soon as they got up a little bit, they would start abusing the people that are giving them the money. Why? Because they could. They would just come in your house and just go through your drawers and start taking stuff out. Why? Because they could. They like your woman, fill in the blanks. It's a matter of character. Donald Trump's character. Why did this dude run for president? Listen, I think he was in the middle of a middle-age crisis. He probably fulfilled his whole bucket list. Nothing else to do. Only thing else he can do to make a big splash, be the president. And I think a big part of it is getting the taxes down for him and all of his associates and cronies. I think that's really the main thing. It's not about this country. It's not about being a good patriot. It's not about public service for sure. It's about getting them taxes down. That's what the whole healthcare thing is about. It's all about getting those taxes down. If Donald Trump can accomplish cutting those people's taxes to 15%, he will have fulfilled his mission, I believe. He's not interested in people. And the people who voted for him. I mean, what must they be thinking? And you're trusting the people. And I'm not talking about calling people low class or, lower middle class, working class people. They put him in office, though. And so they thought they were putting him in office because economics were going to change dramatically because he's a billionaire. He's only a billionaire because he's greedy. He's only a billionaire because he's self-absorbed. He cares about him and his family. That's about it, really. So now we're stuck with Donald Trump. I will admit, I am ashamed to admit, I am one of those people who did not vote in the United States until Barack Obama ran for office. Now, I'm not proud of that. That's just, ooh, what was that? Forgive me, I just ate my lunch. Anyway, I just wasn't that interested. That and the little fact that I was a felon. So for many years I couldn't vote. But even before that, even in the years as a young man, I just didn't feel like the government, I had any power. I didn't feel like I was a part of the government, or really even a part of the country. More like just a person who occupied space here. So I got interested when Obama ran, of course, like a lot of people. I ain't the only one. But now I thought, well, hopefully I won't become disinterested in politics because Barack Obama's leaving office. That would be pretty shallow of me if I can only get excited about politics when a black man runs, right? Well, now I find myself getting up at 6:30 in the morning. I got to take my dog out, usually about 8, but now I'm getting up at 6:30. And what the first thing I do? Turn the TV on. What's he done now? And he is not failing to entertain. Now, I don't know what's going to be next. Probably he's going to fire his press secretary. He's starting to float that idea. He enjoys firing people. He enjoys showing people his power, and he wants people to be scared of him. And we see that he wants people to kiss the ring. In other words, what happens in the White House stays in the White House, that kind of mentality. So I don't know what all Comey knows or how far he got with his investigation, but I'm sure he must have been starting to feel a little heat. So between him and other than the former Secretary of Defense, what was his name? Slips me. My brain's not working yet. Anyway, between those two, the two people he fired, maybe we'll get start the real story. I'm hoping that information comes out. I don't think Donald Trump's going to make it. I really don't, because there are no limits with him. He just does whatever he wants. I think that might be a bad thing about having everything that you want, being a billionaire. You're not used to people telling you no, because that's a pretty arrogant move to fire the FBI man when the whole world's looking right at you. I mean, the whole world is looking at you. So he doesn't fail to entertain. It's like a reality show, and if it gets boring, he's going to throw us out some more drama. He doesn't mind firing people. I guess he said, fuck their families. Let them eat cake. He doesn't seem to have that kind of mentality where he cares about his actions. I mean, so far, I still haven't seen anything that Comey did wrong. I mean, unless we go back to the Hillary Clinton thing. Yeah, that was fireable, but Trump certainly wasn't upset about that. That was a big part of his campaign. During that campaign, I remember asking I'm online a little bit, so all of us through social media, all through the news, everything. Oh, I don't trust Hillary Clinton. I don't trust Hillary Clinton. And then I would wonder then, well, exactly why don't you trust her? I mean, she's been in service for 30 years. This dude just drove up. Why don't you not? And he showed us. He's given us every indication that he's not a trustworthy person or a very principled person, a moral person. He's showed us that time and time and time again. So why would you not trust Hillary Clinton? And that is the Russian influence. That's what they made it their job to do. That's what it was. This email thing. Oh, they went on and on. They talked about, girl, if I heard the word email again. That's what they're involved. They got in our brains. They got in our minds. And we thought, oh, Hillary can't be trusted. Do we really think that Hillary Clinton wouldn't have been a more suitable president than this dude, Donald Trump? I mean, think about it. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. I don't know how he even made all that money, because he doesn't seem to be all that bright to me. Unless he's got a quiet kind of a mind that's like a chess player in his brain where he's making moves that we don't understand and all that. He seems to just shoot from the hip. I just don't see him being that much that smart. Where do you get all? But he built that empire, so I guess you ain't got to be smart to make money. So maybe he's just good at that. But I don't see him lasting very long. Not 4 years. If it's just going to be 4, it's going to be 4 years of this. One scandal after another. And I think he feeds off of that. Because he's supposed to be in there. He done promised all these poor people. A lot of poor white people, too. Well, basically it was all the working class white people who put him in office. They did that for finance. They thought that he would bring the jobs back. They thought that their standard of living would improve. I don't know what they, it's the same thing, propaganda about Obamacare. What's so horrible about it again? Oh, your premium went up. Okay, why don't we try to figure out how to get that down? They don't care about that. It's just about scoring a win for the Republicans and a win for Trump. I don't think he's even that concerned about that. He's concerned about that damn tax break. Obamacare's got to be paid for. So if he defeats the health care, it's not about health care being better or I want to give you your own choice. That don't even make sense. Okay. Anyway, I'm going on one. Okay, I didn't intend to talk this long. Okay, so Trump done fired the damn FBI man. So whoever he puts in there, believe me, will have kissed that ring, or they're not going in there. If he has to go through 3 or 4 different intermediaries for that kiss, they're going to kiss that ring, baby. And if they're not loyal to him and all the cover-ups that are soon to come, they're not getting that job. So be very suspicious of whoever he puts in there. Okay, that's enough. It's my political talk for the week. Later.